Welcome to Ball and Ballers. I've got another show lined up for you today. I'm Z. I'd like to welcome you back. And please like, share, comment, and subscribe and hit that notification bell just to receive notifications of whenever I upload a video for you guys to view. And today's video, I'm going to discuss some of the rumors that are spreading at the moment. A lot of it is to do with Amorim. I'm going to discuss a bit about Lisandro Martinez as well, and go into a bit more of that. But let's begin with the first video I'm going to discuss today. And wow, the first thing I'm going to discuss today, that is, and it's about Ruben Amorim. So we're going to start with Ruben Amorim and these rumors that are going around. So after the game, that's Man City, he was asked about changing his system. He turned around and said, I'm not going to change my system. If Ineos obviously want me to change my system, then they have to change the man, because my system's going to stay the same. And obviously we can see the system ain't working. Some people are saying it's the players and some people are saying it's the system's not working. I think the majority of stuff that I've read and I've seen and watched, they're mentioning the system being the main issue, and especially the role of the two midfielders, because I think I agree that we need three midfielders, not two. The two-man pivot ain't working. We haven't got the players to play in that position. Casemiro hasn't got the legs. Garbage is crap. Bruno is not a number 8. To be fair, when Mainoo come on against City, he was probably one of our best players on the pitch. And it's just not working. We didn't end up signing a midfielder in the summer. And then there was a rumor where people are saying that he's going to get sacked, and Ineos said, no, we're not going to sack him yet. And that potentially might have to do with the 12 million payout that they have to pay him before November, if he gets sacked before that. But there's a lot of people that are running with the story of Manchester United. But let me just put you on to the win-loss record that I've seen since Amorim's taken over. Now look at that. 31 games, 31 points, minus 13 goal difference. So with that being said, with that including the newly promoted teams, we are effectively at the bottom of the table. Pretty much the same points as Tottenham. Tottenham didn't do well under Postecoglou. Thomas Frank obviously is coming in and changing all that, especially with a 1-0 win yesterday in the Champions League. And just looking at that, you can see that we've got a major problem. So if I go into this article that I've seen on the Manchester Evening News, and it just says new Ruben Amorim, Manchester United sack timeline has 5 potential replacements named. So there is 5 people potentially being shortlisted by the bookies. But but I don't want to get into that just yet. I want to get into this. Man United manager Ruben Amorim is facing a crucial 3-game spell as pressure continues to mount on the Portuguese. The Reds have had a disappointing start to the season. As we all know, 4 points in 4, securing only 4 points from the first 4 Premier League matches and currently sitting 14th in the table. Don't want to make any jokes, but we're 1 position higher than last year. Since taking the reins at United 10 months ago, Amorim has managed just 8 victories in 31 league games, leading to speculation that he's losing trust of senior players. So there was a rumor that the players aren't happy with the system. They can't get into the system. And if you watch the games, they do look clueless on it. And I feel like there might be around, well, every time one of our managers go on a loss, there's always a report coming out that players aren't happy. And I remember back in the day in Sir Alex Ferguson's era where the manager controlled everything. I think these days the players control a lot of what happens. And if players lose faith in you, then you may as well kiss your job goodbye. And I think that is the problem you've got here. And I didn't initially want to believe it until I also saw this. And I'm going to scroll back up to the top because for some reason it keeps scrolling me down to the bottom. And this was on Sky Sports. Ruben Amorim effectively has 3 games to save his job, according to the Daily Mirror, who claimed the hierarchy at Manchester United will assess the head coach situation after the game against Sunderland at the start of October. Amorim has a win percentage of less than 25% in the league in 31 matches and may not even last an entire season's worth should things fail. And I feel like they're already failing. So initially, I didn't want to believe it. It was the Daily Mirror, and then Manchester Evening News ran it, and then now Sky Sports ran it. So that makes me think there might be something behind it. And for him to receive 12 million if he gets sacked before November, that might have something to do with why Ineos come out with and said, no, we're not going to get rid of him yet. We're going to keep him. So he might have something to basically do with that. And then at the City game, there was the Benfica management team and the Benfica head of Benfica basically, who's potentially good friends with Amorim. I've heard. So and then the rumor come out where rumored Amorim to Benfica. So João Lopez, the leading candidate to become new Benfica president next month, has identified Amorim as a contender for the manager's job. Now, I thought, okay, since that's come out, Lopez attended Manchester Derby on Sunday alongside his vice president, Nuno Gomes, who is Amorim's good friends, having played together for Benfica and Portugal. Gomes himself has admitted rumor Amorim will be coach of Benfica one day. Now, notice he said one day. Now, I was going to believe these so-called rumors until this morning, or late last night, shall I say, where this guy has now been shortlisted for the role of Benfica manager. And I think it come out this morning that he's the new Benfica manager. And after yesterday's 3-2 loss, surprising loss, Mourinho is now going to take over Benfica. So that might bide some time now for Amorim to see if this system's going to work. And now they ain't got a job to walk straight into. It might change him, but obviously if he's not going to change the system, it's not going to work. And do I feel confident that we're going to beat Chelsea? No. Do I feel confident that we're going to beat Brentford? No. Do I feel confident that we're going to beat Sunderland? No. That confidence has gone from the first game to the fourth game to after the loss to Man City. I've lost all confidence in him. And it shouldn't really be like that, but I have. And that's the sad part about it, because I have really lost confidence in a manager. And I didn't really want it to get that far. Now, do I want him to be dismissed? Only if he doesn't tweak and make changes or adapt to the system. But if he does, and we start getting the results that he needs, then no. But personally, I don't think it'll change the system. And I think it'll show after the Chelsea game. But something that might be a lifeline for him is the return of Lisandro Martinez. Now, we know Martinez can play a few different roles, mainly defense, but at Ajax, he did play the CDM number 6 position, where we've now got Casemiro and Ugarbage. Casemiro hasn't got the legs no more, and Ugarbage is just garbage. So for Ajax, Martinez played 22 games, scored 2 goals and 1 assist in that CDM position. And I say we try him. We try him in that position and see how he gets on and see if I can see if it helps and see how we do. But I'd rather him play with Mainoo rather than Bruno. But then there's no way Amorim's going to leave Bruno out no matter what. So I think, with that being said, I'm hoping Martinez returns and slots in and it works, because it needs to work by now. But the other thing I've got an issue with is these players that are playing out of position, because if they're going to keep playing out of position, they're not going to be happy playing in that position. When I was at school, or after school, college even, or basically when I used to play football regularly, I used to be up front. And if ever they put me in defense or midfield, I wasn't happy, because I like being up front. I like scoring. And I think that's the problem that Amorim's basically going to have. Now, if I want to, there's another thing I really want to discuss as well. And I read this on the same page as I had with the Sky. Let me go back up, because it keeps scrolling down again for some reason. I'm not sure why. But this, Newcastle keeping tabs on Manchester United midfielder Kobbie Mainoo had a January transfer window, according to TalkSport. It's claimed that England international was desperate to leave Old Trafford in the summer after falling out of favour with boss Ruben Amorim, but United blocked the exit, as we are aware. Newcastle boss Eddie Howe is reportedly an admirer of Mainoo and will consider testing United's resolve if the 21-year-old remains in the cold. He came off the bench in the Sunday's 3-0 loss at Man City and is yet to start a Premier League game this season. And I don't think it will. I don't think he'll be ahead of Bruno at all. So chances are Newcastle will probably come in for him in January, and I reckon Amorim will try and put a block on it, but Mainoo will probably push for the move. Especially if Newcastle are doing better than us, especially if Newcastle are in the top half of the table. And more so because Mainoo wants to play in the World Cup, and for him to do that, he needs regular football. So that's another concern I've got, where we might lose an academy graduate to Newcastle because Amorim just have nothing to do for him, or nothing to. And he come in on Sunday. He played well. I think he's one of the best players on the pitch. As soon as he come on, 17 out of 17 passes. Come on. And that is basically the problems we've got at Old Trafford. And do I feel like he's going to go? I am really worried that he's going to go. I really am. Do I think Amorim's going to get sacked? Yes, eventually, if the results don't go our way. And I think it'll be after November. Because why would you pay 12 million to a manager you're going to sack a couple of weeks from the deadline where you don't have to pay him nothing, or don't have to pay him as much? But I'm not sure how far along Lisandro Martinez is, or whether he is going to come in and try him in that CDM position. But he has played that before with Ajax. So time will tell. Time will tell. But thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching another video. And please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I will definitely see you on the next one.